My name is Marian Bell. I am 68 years old. I live alone in the house my late husband, Richard, built with his hands in the early years of our marriage. It sits on the edge of a quiet neighborhood in upstate New York, where the trees whisper to each other and the air carries old secrets like folded love letters. I haven't moved a single piece of furniture since he passed. It's been 13 years. That silence is both a comfort and a weight. When you get to my age, people stop looking. You become part of the wallpaper, smiling politely at the grocery store clerk, making small talk at church, sitting quietly at community meetings while the younger women laugh with something bright in their eyes. But the truth is, there's a world inside me. There always was. And recently, it began to stir again. Happened one rainy Thursday. It always seems to be Thursdays. I had just gotten out of the bath. The house was warm from the old radiator, and I'd left my robe just slightly undone without thinking, as I padded across the living room to reach my tea. The front curtains were drawn halfway, the sky outside an endless gray smear. And that's when I saw him, a man across the street. Younger, not by much, maybe in his early 60s. He was helping a neighbor move boxes, and he looked up, right at me. I froze. Not out of shame, but out of something else I hadn't felt in years. I didn't pull the robe closed. I didn't move. I just stood there. And he smiled. Not in a way that was inappropriate. It wasn't crude. It was warm, gentle, as if to say, I see you. As if I wasn't invisible after all. That moment stayed with me for days. I didn't tell anyone, of course. Who would I tell? My daughter lives 3 hours away, busy with twins and an ever-shrinking window for phone calls. My friends, the few who remain, have grown cautious in their language, worried about how the world might judge a woman our age for feeling alive. But I started doing little things, subtle things. I opened the curtains just a little wider. I brushed my hair before making my morning tea. I started wearing perfume again. Just a touch, jasmine, the one Richard used to love. And I painted. It had been years since I touched a brush. My easel was dust-covered in the attic. I brought it down and set it by the window. At first I painted still life. Bowls of fruit, shadows, the curve of a teacup. But soon I was painting faces. My own. The softness in my eyes. The hollow beneath the collarbone. The history in a woman's jawline. One morning I painted myself in the same robe. The one from that Thursday. I didn't show anyone, but I hung it in the hallway near the stairs. A silent reminder. Weeks passed. The man across the street. His name, I learned, was David, kept appearing. Always polite. Always warm. We wave. Once, he brought over a package that had been misdelivered. His eyes scanned my entryway like it held some memory he couldn't quite place. We talked briefly. About the weather. About the maple leaves turning gold. About how this town seemed to slow down in autumn, like it was remembering. I didn't expect anything from him. That wasn't the point. It was what he had given me in that first glance. An awakening. Confirmation. I was still here. And I had been seen. One night, I sat on the edge of my bed, legs tucked to my chest, wearing the silk nightgown my daughter had gifted me years ago. Still fit. I looked out the window, wondering if he ever noticed the light in my room. And I whispered something aloud that surprised even me. I miss being wanted. It wasn't about romance or desire. It was about presence, intimacy, being known. That same week, I was invited to speak at a local art fair. They had seen one of my paintings through the community center. I was nervous. My hands shook. But I stood in front of that small crowd of strangers, older and younger, and I told them, this painting is of a woman remembering who she is. After the event, a young girl approached me. She couldn't have been more than 22. She said, you look so powerful in your painting. Like you know a secret. Smiled. 'Cause I do. Now, my life hasn't transformed in some cinematic way. I still sleep alone. I still eat oatmeal for breakfast and write lists I forget to complete. But something is different. I've started taking walks again, even in the rain. I wear clothes that make me feel like silk is touching my soul. I smile at strangers. I paint myself in every light, the soft, the sharp, the dim. And when I pass by mirrors, I no longer look away. Because once, for a fleeting moment, I stood in my living room, barely covered. And someone saw me. And I saw myself too.